This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, hotcakes. Welcome to Hot Take, the podcast where we talk about the climate crisis and all the ways that we're talking and not talking about it. I'm Mariana East-Hegler.
And I'm Amy Westwood. Today we have an unusual episode. We spent some time with journalists Emily Atkin and Brian Kahn a couple weeks ago doing a dramatic reading of a terrible, terrible book.
A really terrible book. I mean,
really was.
Terrible, awful, no good, very bad book.
Yes.
About one of our least favorite people on the planet Earth, Donald Trump, and how he is apparently an environmentalist.
Yeah. It's called Donald Trump Environmentalist. And
yeah, they thought really fucking hard about that title, Amy. Really fucking hard. Do you know how many meetings went into that goddamn book and those titles?
Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's self-published by a guy who apparently has worked with Trump for years, helping him to do like conservation projects around his golf courses. And there's an awful lot in there about Melania's boobs. That's all I'll say.
I forgot that part.
I know. I think this guy basically like, I don't know, was just for some reason was very sort of impressed / scared by Trump. And as he tells it, went from being a radical environmentalist to, you know, working with Donald Trump on his golf courses, which in and of themselves are like environmental disasters, across the board.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you follow the show, follow our newsletter, you can probably guess we did not do this sober at all. So I don't remember what I was drinking because I drank so much of it. Emily, do you remember what you were drinking?
I had a margarita concoction of some kind, and it was quite strong. So
yeah,
yes.
Oh my God, you stay on fucking brand.
Yeah, it's true. It was a bit of a blur. That whole that whole session. But we've pulled out some tidbits for you here, and if you want to watch the whole thing, we'll drop a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, and whatever you do not buy this book.
Do not buy it.
Not with money.
No.
No.
Don't do it. I think it was like $20 or something too. It was ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like American human dollars?
Yeah, American dollars. US dollars.
That's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Anyway, we sat through Emily Atkin reading it at us so that you don't have to, and you know what? I don't regret it because I don't remember it.
Yes.
Enjoy.
There's two climate change chapters. One is called Climate Change, and one is called Global Warming versus Global Respect for the Environment.
Oh my God.
Those are the two choices I always make. What is it? Global respect for the environment. I think I'm going to make that the new style guide on Earther. We're going to call it that from now on.
Global respect for the environment?
Yeah.
Is that your new tag? That's your new tagline.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're pivoting the site to global respect for the environment.
Oh, man.
So I, in the interest of time and
sorry, just as an editor, that really fucking bothers me because the globe is the environment. Yes. So like you could also say environmental respect for the globe, or global respect, or environmental respect. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like it means nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Correct.
So the entire first chapter is about John DeLorean.
Who the fuck is that?
The maker of the maker of the DeLorean.
Of the DeLorean?
Is that like the Mandalorian?
Not the Mandalorian.
How many DeLoreans?
The DeLorean is the car that they turn into a time machine in Back to the Future. That's my one cultural reference for that car.
I think it's all anyone knows about the car. Did they ever actually sell like DeLoreans at all? Like I feel like it was just like, yeah, it's in this cool movie, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Making me so mad.
It's about how like John DeLorean's property got all messed up because John DeLorean was like charged with a bunch of crimes, and then Donald Trump like acquired it and turned it into a horse. And Ed Russo, the guy who wrote the book, was like, I want to protect the environment of this property. And so what happens is that Trump is like trying to acquire the golf course, and Ed Russo is like trying to protect the environment of the property. And then Ed Russo gets invited to Donald Trump's office for a meeting, and he's like, okay, like I'm gonna go to the office for a meeting to Trump Tower. And so that's where I'm gonna start off here. All right, so it says,
wow,
does he show up with goats?
No goats. So Ashley and Jim, unimportant, picked me up at Newark International Airport late one night, and we immediately drove to Trump Tower for a meeting at Donald's personal penthouse. The entire building was amazing. And when the doors of the elevator opened, Donald J. Trump was right there to greet us. I had read up on what to expect, studying the art of the deal, and was ready for a direct confrontation. That did not occur. All he wanted to
Donald Trump's a little bitch. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Important context, Amy. Thank you for having.
Sorry.
No, I think that's good. I think we need to acknowledge the reality here.
That's why I invited you guys here for fact checking.
Yeah.
Real-time fact checking. All he wanted to do was show us his apartment, the kitchen appliances, the clocks, the lamps, and the view of Central Park. It was all very nice. Not what I was there for. It went on forever, and it drove me nuts. Finally, we all sat down. The spatial dynamics were fascinating. Donald had no assistant or boardroom table. There was no boardroom. He sat on the couch, and I sat on the chair next to the couch, and Ashley and Jim sat on the two chairs on the far side of the right of the couch.
Genuine question. What is a spatial dynamic?
I'm not an interior.
That might be a real
makeup
thing.
of like
I really don't know.
The stuff in the room and where everybody was sitting and like,
You mean the decor?
The layout.
Yeah.
I see. Spatial dynamics. This man did not have an editor.
I'm
I say,
so
this guy's
excited to tell you guys what is about to happen.
Oh my God. Okay.
The conversation immediately turned brutal. I tried to educate him on the importance of the local environment, the threatened and endangered species, the water quality issues, and the responsibility to the neighbors. Woody Johnson, owner of the Jets, lived across the street. Betty Merck, Merck Pharmaceuticals, lived alongside. The Brady family, financiers, owned property to the rear, and Mountain Forbes lived around the corner. Even with Donald's billions, he wasn't the richest kid on the block.
Please tell me this was written in stanzas.
Just regular paragraph. Donald wanted none of it. He threatened to rip up his proposed offer for the land. He was furious. He wanted what he wanted, and the golf course ordinance that I helped write was standing in his way. I didn't care. The law was the law. At the crescendo of one of his rants, in walked the future Mrs. Trump, Melania Naus. Miss Naus was beautiful in a stunning white dress, tall and sophisticated.
No underwear. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was in parentheses. It was in invisible ink, but that was 100% part of this recollection for this man.
She walked in from the left. Between the couch where Donald was sitting and the chair where I sat. After all my reading and research about Donald, I knew this wasn't a random visit. This was the challenge. This was what I needed to be ready for. And I was. I had read his books and knew to be prepared for something like this. Something to throw off my game and give him the advantage. However, I also enjoyed a
boner.
sophistication. I was a former elected official and was always, and I mean always, professional. I had no fear.
Back up. What was his elected office?
I don't know.
Who knows? Fucking
Googling.
Something is about to happen.
Okay.
Of course it is.
I had no fear. I immediately stood up and reached out in response to her offer to shake my hand, looked her straight in the eyes, and said, "It's very nice to meet you."
Wow.
Perfect tone, perfect inflection. It was euphoric. I won.
What is the perfect tone to say nice to me? Holy shit, have I been doing this wrong my entire life?
By the way, my roommates, my friend are over there, and they're just fucking laughing.
Did you guys know that there's an Eddie Russo who was a NASCAR driver or a race car driver? He died in 2012.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay.
Okay, perfect tone, perfect inflection. It was euphoric. I won. I was ready to run the victory lap. Done and done. However, as I was pulling my hand away from her, something dreadful happened.
I came in my pants.
Amy Roosevelt. Do you know how many people believe that's her real middle name?
It's true. A lot.
Okay. However, God damn it, Amy. As I was pulling my hand away from her, something dreadful happened. I knew it was wrong. I knew everyone was looking at me to make a mistake, especially Donald, who was standing half a step to my right. I felt hypnotized, out of control, and then it happened. The worst of the worst.
Shit, Amy, you were right.
My eyes looked down at things they should never have looked at.
And I couldn't help it. I reached out a hand and went honk, honk.
Okay. My eyes looked down at things they never should have looked at. You know the time immediately after you do something really stupid when you think there's a chance that no one noticed?
No, I've never fucking been there.
I've never looked at someone's titties. Oops. There was none of that. No time to explain myself. Donald lunged as if we had been fencing for hours and he'd finally seen the opening he was waiting for. I was open for the thrust of his foil.
Wow. Wow. Fucking wow. I would also just like to draw folks' attention to this by Brian Kahn. Trump has a book written by a Trump advisor about how Trump loves the environment, actually. Brian, have you read this book?
Busted, Brian!
No, I just wrote.
Read the book.
Oh, no, I would never read this book.
Right, because I'm Googling this dude and I can't find anything about him.
No, I only acknowledged it was only because I think Trump announced that he had the book. Like he was like, oh, like
Dude, and also this guy sent out a bunch of press releases to like.
Yeah. No, this is the first time I've ever heard. I've never heard anything from this book, and I'm really sad that I am now. It's just like,
wow. Okay, wait. So the thrust of his foil.
I was open for the thrust of his foil, which, by the way, that doesn't make any sense. However, all he said was, quote, I guess now we know Russo's not gay.
That's actually, this is the most factual thing I think I could hear from this.
That really tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now we know.
Hey, now we know.
He's got good taste. He likes what he likes.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised, and maybe you got it up. I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if there was a slur involved, to be honest. I mean, if it's Trump. Wow.
I have so many questions.
Now, before any of my LGBTQ brothers and sisters set their hair on fire, this was 15 years ago.
You should say siblings, though.
He should have said siblings, yeah. Yeah, that was not that, yeah. Hondo pay.
Yeah.
This was 15 years ago, before I knew about things like
He
gay.
wrote it in 2016. Get your shit together.
Back then, it was cool to look at boobs anytime, any place. You know, you could look at boobs wherever you went, and it was fun.
There's boobs,
Stop talking like that.
right? There's boobs. They're in front of you. What are you gonna do?
You maybe honk a little. Hey.
Hey, what?
This is, I'm really learning a lot about Trump's environmentalism. I don't know about you.
I'm not learning anything.
This was 15 years ago. Certain words did not have the connotation that they have today. I will be digging deeper into the concepts of bigotry, racism, misogyny, and xenophobia later in this book. For now, Donald was able to make a joke and break the ice to create a better atmosphere for him and get beyond the difficult discussion we were there to have. Everyone laughed.
I bet Melania was laughing her ass off. I mean, her tits off.
Yeah. Anyway, so, there's like more in here. I feel like, so there's like more that's, is a lot. And then, so basically they have a conversation, and then later he's like, Ed Russo's in a bar and he gets a phone call. And he says hello to Trump. It's Trump. And he goes, let me apologize for my behavior at our meeting. Trump returned with, no, there's nothing to apologize for. You're obviously very passionate about the things you believe in, and that's good. And I said, no, I'm not apologizing for giving you a hard time about the environment. I actually enjoyed that. I'm apologizing for my eyes going where they never should have gone.
A true gentleman, Edward Russo.
Yeah.
No, I meant when I was staring at your wife's tits. Oh,
And then Trump offered him a job, and then the chapter ends.
And then Trump offered him a job. Wow, amazing.
You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
I just wanted to take a quick break to note that there are a lot of people in Texas who still don't have any power because of a storm that officials didn't prepare for because nobody wanted to prepare their infrastructure for extreme weather. It's fun to read about Donald Trump's ineptitude, but there
are consequences.
Yeah, there are. It's fun to laugh about it, but actually this idiocy
It is real. That's what you're coming down to.
The book about, there's one book in existence about Donald Trump being good at the environment, and half of it is about Melania's titties and boobs.
That's true. That's true.
I think that's notable.
That sums it up. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed that reading of Donald Trump, Environmentalist. Now you don't have to buy the book or ever think about it again.
I mean, to be fair, you never had to buy the book or think about it ever.
That's true.
But I will say that, I've talked about this a little bit on the dreaded Twitter machine. That's felt pretty toxic on the social media front lately.
Yeah.
At least to me.
And way more than like a new level. I mean, it's
like
always
a new level.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it feels good to troll somebody who unequivocally deserves it. We know deserves it, like has done horrible shit out in the open, no questions about it, as opposed to trolling one another and trolling individuals. And if you want some of that in your life, I strongly suggest that you cyberbully some fossil fuel companies.
Yes.
This week was Sarah Week, which I don't know what the fuck that is, but also like if BP and Shell and Chevron are for it, I'm against it. So there's that.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So if you want to take out some righteous anger on some people who righteously deserve it, because they're not people, they're corporations who are like legit poisoning all of us, I suggest that you go after some of these conglomerations. Why? Because fuck them. That's why.
That's right. That's right. I don't actually know what Sarah Week stands for, but I do know that it's the annual conference of the oil and gas industry. Excuse me, the global energy industry. And yeah, it was so ridiculous this week. We saw so many oil companies and like API, the trade association for the oil industry, kind of, all of a sudden being like, we're just all about emissions reductions. We're all about, but they do it in this way where they're like, we're in favor of smart climate policy, which basically means for them, no climate policy. It's gross.
Girl, did you know that Sarah Week has its own whole ass Twitter handle? Did you know that?
I know. Yeah, it's gross. It has its own whole ass website too, which is crazy to me. SarahWeek.com. Yeah.
I am deep into SarahWeek.com, and ain't nobody told me what Sarah stands for yet.
I know.
Not one motherfucking person.
Oh, I know. It's like impossible to find. I don't understand.
It's like a goddamn secret.
What it stands for.
Oh, look, I'm on the About section.
I know.
I'm
there right now. It's just all acronym the whole way through.
What is Sarah Week?
Mm-hmm. What is
and it doesn't fucking tell you.
What is it? Oh, wait. Oh, I found it. Okay, in 1983, Cambridge Energy Research Associates, Sarah, was founded in Cambridge, Massachusetts by Daniel Yergin and James Rosenfield. The energy research and consulting firm quickly became known for its critical knowledge and independent analysis on energy markets, geopolitics, industry trends, technology, and strategy. Each year, Sarah clients gathered for a few days in Houston to attend an executive conference. Over time, it was expanded, blah, blah, blah. Now it's called Sarah Week, and they're owned by like another bigger sort of energy industry like analyst group called IHS Markit. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Also sounds like it was written by Cambridge Analytica.
That's it. Oh, the other thing that I think is kind of interesting about Sarah Week is that it's like all the oil and gas company people, but then it's also like the U.S. politicians working on
right
oil and gas. And I think at this one, what you're starting to see a lot more of is tech people showing up at these things too, because you've got
fucking
your Microsoft
course
and your Google that are like, hey guys, let's sell you some software that will help you do this faster. While of course at the same time saying that they are committing to zero emissions. Okay, CERAWeek 2020. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Amazon Web Services. A foundational partner. And then you've got all the banks, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Morgan Stanley.
Yep.
So that's great. Then you've got all the oil companies. You've got like Aramco, BP, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, blah, blah, blah. All of them. They're all there. Jeez. API is always there. Yeah.
It's always the worst people who hang out together.
I know. Yeah, and then you had like, all these Biden administration climate and energy people giving speeches there too.
Gross.
So, yeah. It is, you know what it reminds me of is just this thing that I think is just still such a persistent idea that like we need to ask the oil industry's permission to have climate policy.
Yeah.
And it's like even the way that they frame it is like, we're okay with this and we're okay with that. And like, oh, now we're okay with putting a price on carbon. Like, well, go fuck yourselves. That would have been great 20 years ago. And now, like, I don't care what you're okay with anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what we were saying about Veep, which I have been rewatching because it's one of my comfort TV shows.
It's so good. I've just been binging it too. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So HBO's Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it's really funny, but it's also like the oil industry and the plastics industry is shown to be extraordinarily powerful. Yep. And I was rewatching it and I was like, how did I miss this narrative before? So anyway, we're thinking about doing another episode on that in the future. And also like we need some trash TV in our lives. So if you have trash TV with a climate theme or climate metaphor, send it to us. Nothing too serious, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just not in the place where I can handle it. Yes. I need frivolous. I need fluff. Yes. I need stupid.
Yes, totally. Okay, so go and troll those oil companies. Troll companies and bad policy ideas, not people. Oh, send us good frivolous TV with climate themes. We want to watch some stuff.
Frivolous. Emphasis on the frivolous.
Do not send us a sad and serious documentary, please. Thank you.
No, and no like gut wrenching like dramas either. I can't handle it. And you can follow Emily Atkin on Twitter at AMORWEE, and you can follow Brian at BLKahn. That's BLKAHN. You can follow me at Mary Hegler. You can follow Amy at Amy Westervelt. And you can follow Hot Take at Real Hot Take.
All right, that's it for this time. Check out the show notes for a link to our newsletter, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.